Welcome, my friends, to a journey through the dark and twisted history of ancient Rome, a world of emperors and gladiators, of conquest and glory, but also a world shrouded in shadows, where cruelty and superstition reigned. Prepare yourself for 15 creepy truths about ancient Rome, stories that might make you glad you're living in the 21st century. We're about to descend into the depths of Roman history, where the Colosseums roared not just with the cheers of the crowd, but with the screams of the damned. Are you ready? Because once you enter the shadows of ancient Rome, you might never look back. When you hear the word Colosseum, what comes to mind? Gladiators locked in mortal combat, the roar of the crowd, the clash of steel. Now imagine something even more sinister. The air is thick with the stench of sweat, fear and blood. A gruesome theatre of death where slaves and criminals met their end, shackled, forced to fight for your life against terrifying beasts. And the crowd? They roared with delight, their cheers echoing the death throes. The Romans had a flair for the dramatic, especially in their punishments. Imagine being deemed an enemy of Rome. Your fate? Something far more terrifying than a quick death. You might be sewn into the skin of a freshly slaughtered animal and released into an arena of ravenous dogs. The crowd would watch, mesmerized and horrified, as you become a living, breathing pincushion, your screams swallowed by the cacophony of barking and snarling. These weren't just executions. They were spectacles designed to entertain, terrify and remind everyone of the price of defiance. Beneath the grandeur of Rome's marble temples and bustling marketplaces lurked a dark secret. The Cloaca Maxima, Rome's intricate sewer system, carried more than just waste. In the dead of night, bodies would be dumped into these reeking tunnels, swallowed by the city's bowels. Unwanted infants, victims of foul play, enemies of the state, all vanished into the labyrinthine darkness. The sewers of ancient Rome weren't just a testament to the city's engineering prowess, they were a testament to its capacity for cruelty and its chilling indifference to those deemed disposable. Imagine being a Roman soldier, hardened by battle, loyal to a fault. But what happens when loyalty falters? The Roman army had a chilling answer: decimation. If a legion displayed cowardice, every 10th man was chosen by lot. His fate? To be beaten to death by his own comrades. Imagine the horror of watching your name drawn, the feeling of your closest friend's hand on your shoulder, not in comfort, but in grim acceptance of his duty. The blows would rain down, a brutal symphony of violence, echoing the fear that now gripped the remaining soldiers. Decimation wasn't just about punishment, it was about sending a message. Picture this, a Roman banquet, opulent and decadent. Wine flows freely, laughter rings out, but beneath the surface danger lurks. On the delicate fingers of noble women, glittering rings hold a dark secret. These aren't just adornments, they are instruments of death, each one a tiny, ornate coffin. In a society where power could shift with a whisper, a carefully concealed poison became the weapon of choice. The poison rings of ancient Rome stand as a chilling reminder that beneath the veneer of civilization, darkness always lurked, ready to strike at any moment. Rome, the city of aqueducts, famed for its advanced plumbing and access to fresh water. But this symbol of progress hid a sinister secret. The very pipes that brought life-giving water to the Roman populace were slowly poisoning them. Lead, a readily available and malleable metal, was perfect for crafting the intricate network of pipes. But what the Romans didn't know was that lead was a silent killer, leading to a horrifying litany of ailments, madness, infertility, even death. Rome's advanced plumbing, a symbol of their ingenuity, was also a slow and insidious poison. Imagine a secluded island, a paradise, but instead of tranquility, it echoes with the sounds of depravity. This was the pleasure island of Emperor Tiberius, a man whose appetites were as boundless as his cruelty. Behind the opulent facade of his villa, Tiberius indulged in his darkest desires. It is said that he had a pool, a pleasure pool, where young boys were forced to perform unspeakable acts for his amusement. The laughter of the emperor mingled with the terrified whimpers of his victims, creating a grotesque symphony of power and depravity. Even in death, Tiberius's cruelty knew no bounds. In the heart of Rome, amidst the flickering flames of the Temple of Vesta, resided the Vestal Virgins, their duty to keep the sacred fire burning, a symbol of Rome's strength and prosperity. Their lives were ones of privilege and honor, but their oath of chastity hung over them like a sword. To break this oath was to invite a fate worse than death. Imagine the terror of a Vestal virgin accused of impurity, her punishment, to be buried alive, entombed in darkness, left to suffocate in the cold embrace of the earth. It was a slow and agonizing demise, a chilling reminder of the unforgiving nature of the Roman gods. The Roman Empire, a vast network of roads connecting its sprawling territories. These roads, marvels of engineering, were lifelines for the empire, but paved with the blood and sweat of countless slaves. Imagine travelling these roads at night, the moon casting long, eerie shadows. Travellers whispered of ghostly apparitions, of chains dragging on the cobblestones. Imagine holding a thin sheet of lead, cold and heavy, in your hand. Not just any lead sheet, but a defixio, a curse tablet, inscribed with words of hate, envy and vengeance. This, my friends, was dark magic, Roman style. People from all walks of life used them, hoping to inflict pain and suffering on their enemies. The curses were as varied as the people who wrote them, from wishing illness and misfortune to calling for agonizing death. Think about it. Somewhere in the ruins of ancient Rome, buried beneath centuries of history, lie these tablets imbued with the raw, negative energy of a bygone era. Imagine reclining on a plush couch, a goblet of wine in your hand, surrounded by the laughter and conversation of friends. But instead of a grand hall, you're in a tomb, the air thick with the scent of incense and decay. This, my friends, was the reality for some Roman elites who indulged in a rather morbid practice, dining amongst the dead. They would hold lavish feasts in mausoleums, surrounded by the tombs of their ancestors. Skeletons grinned down from their niches, silent witnesses to the revelry. These feasts were a bizarre and unsettling glimpse into the Roman psyche, a culture obsessed with both celebrating life and confronting death head-on. Beneath the grandeur of Rome lie the catacombs, a sprawling subterranean city of the dead. Not just burial chambers, these were ossuaries, bone rooms filled with the skeletal remains of millions. Imagine wandering these dimly lit tunnels, the silence broken only by the drip of water, the air thick with the dust of ages. The catacombs of Rome stand as a chilling reminder of our shared fate, a silent city beneath the bustling streets. The reign of Nero, a name synonymous with tyranny and cruelty. History remembers him for his excesses, his paranoia, and his utter disregard for human life. And perhaps the most chilling example of his cruelty was his alleged penchant for human tortures. Christians, those who dared to defy the emperor's divinity, were seized and coated in flammable pitch, their bodies transformed into living torches. Their screams, their pleas for mercy, were drowned out by the drunken laughter of the emperor and his court. The gardens of Nero stand as a testament to this darkness, a place where beauty and horror once intertwined in a gruesome spectacle. In the heart of the Colosseum, the crowd roared, their bloodlust reaching a fever pitch. But the gladiators weren't the only ones who faced death in the arena. Condemned prisoners, their crimes varied and often insignificant, were sometimes brought in for a different kind of spectacle. Imagine being dragged into the arena, the sand gritty beneath your feet, the stench of fear and blood heavy in the air. You're sentenced to be beheaded, not by a skilled executioner, but by a novice gladiator honing his skills for the main event. It was a gruesome spectacle, a testament to the Romans' insatiable appetite for violence and their chilling indifference to human suffering. Blood, the lifeblood of the arena, the very essence of the gladiatorial games. But in ancient Rome, it wasn't just a symbol. It was believed to hold potent, almost magical properties. Imagine the aftermath of a particularly brutal fight, the sand soaked crimson, the air thick with the metallic tang of blood. But instead of recoiling, the spectators, driven by superstition and a thirst for the macabre, would surge forward to collect the blood of fallen gladiators. This morbid fascination with blood reveals a darker side of Roman society, a society obsessed with violence and the macabre. Rome, the eternal city, a beacon of civilization, of law, of art and architecture. But as we've seen, beneath the marble and the mosaics, a darkness festered. Rome was grand, but its shadows were deep and sinister, filled with whispers of cruelty, superstition and violence. It's a reminder that history is never black and white. It's a tapestry woven from threads of both light and shadow. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the dark side of history, Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell icon for more creepy stories.